Greetings VC, Andy here again, and here as I'm recording this, it's the 1st of December, and I'm kicking off my annual roundup of my top 25 albums of the year, obviously in this case 2025, and as I said on my last video, I'm changing the format of this a little bit. In the past I've sort of done a daily advent calendar countdown from starting at 24 and running down on the 1st and running down to 24, usually with the odd add-on on the 24th, but I'm not doing that this year. I'm doing them in more sort of grouped stages. I've changed my mind slightly again, so what I'm doing here now is I'm going to do 4 videos starting today with numbers 25 down to 16. So I'm going to whiz through them, not dwell on each one, and then for the second episode, which I'll do next week or in a few days, I'm going to do number 15 down to number 11, and then plus I'm going to do my favourite compilations, new live albums and reissues, because my countdown is all new music, so new studio music. So, but I do like to sort of chuck in some of my favourites, not so much in the numbers, but my favourite sort of reissues and stuff like that. So I'll pick 5 of those, so another 10 albums then. And then when I get to my top 10, I'll do that over 2 episodes, dwelling a little bit more and doing samples for each one. So I'll do those in two videos, 10 to 6, and then to count down 5 to 1. So that's my plan. Now, I mentioned my last video, and that got way more views than several thousand more views than I would normally get, and a lot of new viewers and subscribers. So if you're new to me and you're coming back, thanks so much for coming back. And if you've been with me for a while, thanks for keep coming back. So it makes it all worthwhile doing. So let's get cracking. Number 25, and it is Blood Orange and Essex Honey. So I'd covered this one in, when did I do this? In August. And Blood Orange is otherwise known as Devonte or Dev Hines, who's actually better known really as a producer. So he's produced lots of big albums. I think he lives in the States, not sure where. And this album is his 5th. I came across him years ago under his initial sort of stage name of Lightspeed Champion, but he's produced 5 albums now under the moniker of Blood Orange. This is the first one I've bought, to be honest, but I've heard pretty well all of them. It's sort of indie rock, and this is a coming home album. So basically he comes from Ilford, which is in Essex, sort of on the border of London and Essex, sort of outer London really, and it really tells the story of him coming back, sort of reacquainting himself with his childhood location, and also his grief of his mother dying. I think it was his mother dying, which sort of was what brought him home, and it's sort of all about that. But it's a nice set of songs, really well, as you might expect from a producer, really well produced, and great little album. So let me put that back down there. It is just on, it's a double, but it's on black vinyl. And number 24, and it's Doves and Constellation for the Lonely. So this is Dove's 6th studio album. When did they produce the first one? 2002, Lost Souls, was it, or 1? Anyway, they've been going for 25 years effectively, and it's only their 6th album in that time. They're a trio. Made of twins, Jez and Andy Williams on guitar and drums, and Jimmy Goodwin on bass and vocals. Now normally Jimmy does all the vocals, But I think in preparation of this album, he was suffering quite a bit. He had some mental health issues. And Jez and Andy stepped in with some of the vocals. So all three of them shared vocal duties. But it doesn't really diminish. It's not their best album, but it's a good album all the same. You know, Doves can do no wrong for me. So one of my favourite bands, and this has a couple of really strong tracks on it, and the rest of the album is good. So that's number 24, and it is on, it's a single LP, and it was produced on Orange. And 23, well, this is one I've just talked about in my last video, so I'm not going to dwell on it. And it's Tortoise from Chicago, and their umpteenth album, Touch. So they were early post-rockers, and this sort of comes back in that vein, sort of more the gentler end of post-rock. It's as I mentioned in my last video, they've got sort of, it's difficult to describe really, but it's got a sort of spaghetti western vibe on a couple of tracks, very interesting, and I love the artwork on there. And this one was just on black vinyl. And coming in at number 22, and it's a Dream Theater and their album Parasomnia, which is all about sleep disorders and dreams and things like that. So this is my first venture into Dream Theater, to be honest. I've never had any of the stuff or really listened to it, but you know, when this was released in when was it? Early February. So I covered it in February. I don't know whether that was when it was released, but it was sort of the beginning part of the year. I sort of listened to a couple of tracks and I thought I really like that. I mean, it's very sort of. I'm not entirely convinced it's quite as metal as some of their earlier stuff I've listened to. I streamed, but it's very prog, very progressive metal. And you know, there aren't that many tracks, so you know, like the whole side tracks, or two on a side, and you know, one side has three, so there's only 8 tracks over the 4 sides. I really like this album. It's completely new to me. The artwork is brilliant. Now apparently, as I say, I really don't know Dream Theater of old. And this apparently had their original drummer who left the band more than a decade ago, Mike Poitney, returned, and from what I've sort of heard from Dream Theater aficionados, it's a good return, and he's really good. I really like it. I confess, it's not a rabbit hole I've gone into to discover all the past of Dream Theater, but I do like this album, and it has appeared in my number 22, and it is on. Where are we? Black vinyl. So coming in now at number 21, and we have Black Country New Road and their album, and their album Forever Howlong. So this is a sort of return for Black Country New Road. They're a 6-piece. Well, now they are a 6-piece, 3 girls, 3 boys. They've been around quite a long time, sort of 10 years or so, in various formats, but probably only half that in as Black Country New Road. This is their 3rd album, and their sort of leader and frontman, Isaac Wood, left on the very eve of the release of their 2nd album. So they've sort of carried on, but they as a very new band. So on here, the vocals are shared by all 3 girls. They come from Cambridge, and you know, apparently the name, I mentioned this on a recent video. I sort of wondered, how on earth do they have a name Black Country New Road when they're a bunch of middle class kids from Cambridge? And Isaac Wood apparently got the name of the band by using the random page function on Wikipedia, and it came up with and I mean, the Black Country, for those who don't know the UK, is basically the sort of the area around the west and north of Birmingham, of sort of Wolverhampton, Dudley, and places like that. So named because of it was very industrial and lots of smoke. And everywhere was black back in Victorian times, and they built a new spine road through it called Black Country New Road, and that's where they got the name from, but in a very random fashion, which was typical of Isleworth Wood. Here, this is really different because it's got much gentler, much gentler vocals from the girls. It's more melodic. It's a nice album. I like it, not quite as much as their first two, but it's good enough to appear in my number 21. So and there we go. So that's Black Country New Road and Forever Howlong. And there's a really lovely booklet with it, a very detailed booklet with photos and lyrics and stuff like that. And it is it's a double album on 2 shades of blue. Bizarrely, I think it's one of those eco ones, so they're reused vinyl, so that's slightly random what they come up with. So number 20, and a comeback album, one of the several comeback albums this year, and this is Pulp and their album More, which came out, when did I do this one? Pulp in June, so I don't know whether it came out in June, but it was sort of June or not long before, and it's a very good. I mean, great songwriting. I mean, Jarvis Cocker is a brilliant lyricist and singer. And it's been recorded. It says 11 songs recorded in November 2024 by James Ford. So James Ford is the producer, and sometime I'm going to do a video on James Ford, because I sort of worked out recently. I think I've got loads of records which either feature him as a musician or as a producer, so I might do that sometime. It's just a really good return album. Very, it's done well. It was shortlisted for the Mercury Prize, so a very good record. And this one was single LP, 11 tracks actually, and this one's on blue vinyl. So coming in at number 19, we have Ethel, Cain, and Willoughby Tucker, I'll Always Love You. So this is a sort of part of a trilogy of records in the Ethel Cain series. So Ethel Cain is a trans female whose proper name is Hayden Silas Anhedonia, and she comes from the sort of, I believe, from the Florida Panhandle, from a very religious community, and these are lovely storytelling they've got. I really like her voice. Considering she's a biological man, she doesn't sound like it. But it's just a great album. I really like it. I have the first one, which name I've just escaped me, which I really like, but this is better, really good. And it's a double LP, just on plain black. So coming in now at number 18, and this is my best pop album of the year. And I've only just covered this in, when did I do this? October, Say She, and it's called Cut and Rewind. So Say She is basically 3 girls, there they are, from New York, and it's sort of disco, but it's disco funk. It's really good. Very, very reminiscent of the 70s. So they're singing about modern stuff that bothers them. Or, as we might guess, what are 3 young ladies going to be singing about now? It's misogyny and all sorts of racism and stuff like that. To be honest, the sort of lyrics tend to sort of wash over me a little bit. It's just great music. It's proper, if you like 70s funk, because the backing band is really tight funk, absolutely brilliant. The girls have got great voices. It's just really, really good pop music, but of a disco funk nature. And this one is it's very, very, very funky as well, sort of black and red splatter on clear. And it was a rough trade album of the month, so it came with an extra, and it's what have we got here? It's a CD with 4 live tracks on. Another one, so coming in now at number 17, so this is the penultimate one of this first rundown, is Sprints, and all that is over. So this one I covered also in October. There's a little run here of Octobers, and Sprints are from Dublin, so it's sort of like punk, post-punk, and just really, really good songs. I love the vocal style of the female, whose name I've forgotten. What's her name? Can't remember. So, you know, she's got a great voice, that sort of Dublin drawl. I really do like. It's how many tracks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I think 10 tracks ish. On single LP, and it also is it came with a 7-inch single with a couple of tracks on it. It's another rough trade one, so you always get a bonus on that, and it's very, very pink, which is a bit of a sort of not really in keeping with the band Sprints. And so finally for this one, we come in at number 16, and it's another sort of old favourite with a great comeback album, and it is the Orb and their album Buddhist Hipster. And again, I talked about this in October, so as I say, a little run of Octobers, and it's a sort of comeback of I've forgotten his name now, Alex Patterson. Who has been with, you know, ever since the very first incarnation of the Orb, and he's joined by a much younger guy called Michael Rendell on here, who's new to it. But it's very old school Orb. It's really back to it, and they've got some of those sort of samples, like the magnificent fluffy clouds, little white fluffy clouds. Sample which appeared on their early one. It's just brilliant, and they've got, you know, stuff like that, but it's the Orb back to their absolute best, and it's a double LP on black vinyl, really good. So as I say, next time I'm going to be covering from 15 up to up to 11. So again, like this, I'm going to go through this quickly, but then do my 5 favourite mix of live comps and reissues of the year before embarking on the top 10 in slightly more detail. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.